Call the meeting to order. Geneva Town Council meetings are now live streamed and recorded. Your participation in this meeting, your consent to record the recording and rebroadcasting of the meeting on the town's YouTube channel. We'd all rise and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please take your seats. Roll call. Please let it note that all council members, with the exception of Arlen Mitchell, are here tonight. Our town attorney, Nick Baumgartner, our clerk, Tina Booth, and welcome guests. We have 3 different meeting minutes that we need to approve. They should have been sent to you in your packets for August 12th, August 19th, and August 29th of this year. Are there any additions or corrections that need to be made to the minutes? If not, a motion to accept all 3.
So moved.
Agnes, you second?
Yes, thank you.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of approving the minutes as submitted, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Tonight we are introducing our 2026 budget. I need a motion to introduce as presented.
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion from Stan,
Second.
second from Andrew. Are there any comments or questions or clarifications?
Not yet.
If not, I'll accept the motion to introduce, or to approve the introduction, rather. That's the right way of saying that, isn't it?
Introducing the budget.
Yes. Motion to
Introduce, yeah.
Right.
So moved. Second.
And second. There's no further discussion. All in favor of approving the motion to introduce, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Peter, do you have anything to add?
I just made some bullet points just about the budget. There is a 3% increase for police, fire, utilities, council, deputy clerk, and clerk treasurer in this 2026 budget. 2026 probably will be a purchase of a new police vehicle to replace the 2019 Dodge Ram, so that's in the budget. Since we changed the hydrant rental ordinance, just wanted to point out that we have 160 hydrants, I believe, at $495.87 per the ordinance. That's $57,521 we'll have in 2026 to replace and repair additional hydrants. There's $125,000 in the budget for this building for mold remediation, the windows and things out of 3 different accounts. The building repairs in general, CDIT and CDCD. Although I believe we're talking about the fire department bathrooms today, that they may be done before the end of the year. If not, it is in the budget for next year if we can't get it done this year. And I worked with the wastewater superintendent. There are 6 control panels that he needs to replace. They're $8,000 a piece, and he can do 3 in 26 and the remaining 3 in 27. So those are kind of the big ticket ones for 2026.
If there are no other comments, we'll move on to the monthly department reports. We'll start out with the police. Oh, Agnes,
Don't we have to open the public hearing?
That's next month.
it's next month.
Oh, it says budget public hearing on here.
It's actually just.
This is just the introduction,
Right.
so this isn't, okay. I was just following what it said, okay.
Police department reports.
should have gotten that activity login so far. Just to follow for August, we did have National Night Out. It was a successful night. The majority of the council members at some point were up at National Night Out and hopefully enjoyed some hot dogs and some popcorn. Had quite a few, I don't know if we want to call them vendors, they weren't selling anything, but participants. They come down and supported the night, had a good turnout from the crowd. Talked with Mike again this weekend. He's doing well at the academy, everything's going well. He informed me that as of Sunday, they had 13 classroom days left and 6 tests to go. So he's looking forward to graduation. That's coming up at the end of this month. Looking forward, I know we talked a little bit about it with some of the folks. I talked with Trent about it. And we're going to upstairs in October, we're hosting a 4-hour traffic management course that's being provided to us by the state. It'll benefit us that it talks about how to how to set up safe work zones, how to set up during incidents on the highway. The state's already mandated it for anybody that holds the EMS certification, that it's mandatory that they take it. So we'll have that upstairs. Like I said, that's coming up Saturday, October 18th. Our new ballistic shields are in. We got them out in the vehicles. We've got one on display here at the back. And in case it gets excited tonight in the meeting, we got our ballistic shield. Other than that, we've had some concerns about the 2-hour parking downtown. We're addressing that, working on that. However, we could not find the ordinance for 2-hour parking downtown. We found an ordinance that talked about the temporary parking, the handicap parking. We found 2 hours on High Street, but we haven't been able to locate the ordinance for the actual East Line Street. So we're still working on that. But if we can't find it, we need to do something. The signs have been there. Signs have been there forever. So we're still looking for that.
That's something we'll have to pass an ordinance on if we can't find anything on it, or get lost in the complications. Right.
You said East Line Street?
Yeah.
I'll do some digging.
Okay. Yeah, teams look for it. I look for it.
Okay.
We talked to Trent about it. Like I said, the signs have been there forever. We just can't find the ordinance to support it. So I don't know if it got amended someplace, but we found it for 2-hour parking on High Street beside the Veterans Park. So we're still digging for that.
I noticed that we have one of our guests tonight is Officer Johnson from the Adams County Sheriff's Department, our former town marshal. Do you have anything that might shed some light on this?
Did you look at the big book? Ordinance book? It should be there. It should be a schedule of it.
Yeah, we can find the temporary parking or the 5-minute parking for the post office. We can find the handicap spots. So there's nothing about 2-hour parking out here only on High Street. Should be. We're still digging.
Thank you.
Other than that, that's all I've got.
Okay. Fire. Mark's not here tonight. John?
Yeah. I don't have that number of runs we had. I don't know if it's in your report or not. We had several first responder runs. I don't believe we had any fires. I had the one false alarm out in Lengo, I believe. As far as our runs, our training, we did auto extrication. So we was able to hours in on that. This is the reflective ring we were talking about that we got the grant, which we got the grant through the Adams County, and then we, fire department, through our fundraising, we put the rest of the money up for it. And then, so them are removable, so when they change out a hydrant, they can just take that off and put it right on the next hydrant, so we'll always be able to see it. And then they're collar coded to according to the amount of water flow that the hydrants get, so we'll know if we see a red one or a yellow one, we'll know which one to take. So I think that's kind of from that. Did you want me to talk about the bathrooms at this point, or was there something, or was that a different spot? Or?
It's this point.
Okay. So I don't know. I think that did Mark send the drawings
Yeah.
and the Okay, so I kind of, the one drawing was what it looks like now. And then the other drawing is what we're proposing it to look like. 2 bathrooms that would be big enough to be handicap accessible. And the hallway, we just kind of took a little bit of the office to make the hallway go all the way straight through. And then I tried to write up spec. Making the drawing was the easy part. Trying to make the specs was kind of the hard part, kind of what we expected the people to do when they bid on this.
Already the walls that we're going to be changing structural.
No. The only structural walls are, now, the way it sits, I think I wrote north on the one page. So the wall that would be on the west side and the south side, them are block walls that are structural walls. The interior walls they just go up. That's not on these, it's 8 feet. They're not.
So we're not going to worry about any permitting or anything like that.
And then that's why I just proposed that when they build the new walls, they could just build them out of studding. They wouldn't have to lay block.
Now, that would have to be metal setting though, wouldn't it?
I
That might be a Mark Wynn question.
It might be.
Anyway.
And then there was like a couple places where there's holes, well, like they would have to take one door out and, lay block in it. There's like a vent. That's kind of, I just tried to put in the specs, everything that you could think of the things that they would need to try to bid when they accept bid.
Have you had any kind of time frame when you want to start this project?
I would just, for us, we would rather we didn't start it until after our chili supper because there's no way it would be done before then.
Right.
I mean, you probably wouldn't even, yeah, they wouldn't be able to really anyways. But anytime after that, then that's good.
And it's all inside work.
It's all inside, yeah.
So we'd be able to use this as far as being able to bid or quote out the project? Spec sheet?
Yeah, that's what I tried to do. I tried to make it as much there, like.
Probably need a motion to approve the plan and then give them permission to proceed.
Right.
Do I have such a motion?
Make a motion to go ahead and approve the plan for the update to the bathrooms at the fire station.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Stan, second. Any other discussion?
I think they ought to check with Mark Wynn before, because this being a public commercial building, changing walls around.
I would think that would be part of the plan to make sure that we're properly permitted and everything.
I think as long as we put properly permitted, sign off on everybody.
So let's just revise the motion to add properly permitted as required.
Revise my motion to proceed with the update to the bathrooms at the fire station with the, what did you,
Properly permitted.
properly permitted.
Dan, you want to second the modification?
Yes, I'll second.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor to grant the fire department their plan, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Good luck. Utilities, Trent.
Update on fire hydrants, they are not going to be here until the end of this month, the 1st of October. Long story short, utilities flat screwed up when they ordered them and they didn't get the order placed until I called to check on them. So they'll be here, like I said, towards the end of this month.
That's all been corrected.
Yes, Mueller is working to try to get them expedited to us as quick as possible. And the community crossings grant coming up. I didn't get the list of that I was thinking about doing, but I have kind of what I put together real quick here.
Community crossing.
Front and back. The back side has a total of, there's 10 streets altogether. We have to provide a 20% match this year versus the 25 we did last year. So with the total that's on there, the 365,070, the 20% is 73,014. And what we have set aside is 69,332.65. So normally when this goes out to bid, it comes in about 80,000 less is what we've been averaging. It's about 80,000 less than what I have on here. So it should be well within the range of where we're at.
So when you said what we have is 69, is that looking at
It's looking at the 48 that we have.
76 and 65 minus the 80,000 we need this year? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I don't. We should have had 24 set aside in local roads and streets and 24 in the
Correct.
MVH restricted. And then we had 21,000 something left over from the last grant.
It's going into this one.
That's what we had. That's what I had figured for this one.
What about the one we're doing right now we have to pay for?
That was the last one. I have to go back and look at the last one.
Should have it. You look at those numbers. You think we'll have enough next year? I would pay because we don't have enough appropriated yet for this year. Okay, that's what I'm asking because I know the numbers we're looking at aren't what we need appropriated. Okay.
I noticed on here we have, on the back page, item 12, manholes adjusted to grade.
Yeah, there's some of them I need to put on yet, so this may change just a little bit.
Is it, I know just looking at what's been done so far, there's at least 2 or 3 manholes that when I was walking home today from town hall that need that adjustment, or is that going to be?
Did not get adjusted.
No, the manhole itself is in a hole,
Okay,
about 1.5 inches, 2 inches.
okay. I'll talk to Tyler, because, yeah, we had that in here. I mean, this is the same as what was done the last time. So they should have all been figured to be adjusted to the correct height.
And there's one on Pyle Street, just west of High Street. One on Washington Street, about 1/3 of the way up, just close to my house, on the east side of the street there, but in front of Ray Gerbil's little house.
Yep,
Those 2 I know for sure. Need to look at.
okay.
I have a motion to approve Trent proceeding with this.
I'll make a motion to proceed.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of approving the community crossings for, this is going to be for 2026?
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Any other items, Trent?
I think so.
Okay, thank you. New business, tractor show. John Patch again.
Yes, I'm for representing the Limberlost
an antique gas engine and tractor show. And we're asking if we can close down Decatur Street between Line Street and Shackley Street on Sunday, October 5th from 7 to 5.
Seven a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah. And if my wish was granted, we would ask for the police officers to be able to put up no parking signs the day before on that street. And if the town employees could bring up some barricades, set them behind the fire station. What typically happens, bring us like 6 barricades and set them back there, and then we put them out that morning and then take them back up.
And that was Decatur Street from Line Street to Shackley Street.
Yeah.
Dwayne, see a problem with that?
No, they've had it in the past, it's always a accident to go visit.
How many years have we been doing this now?
I'm trying, I don't know. I know I've been participating in it for 32 years, so, and I know it's longer than that. So.
I know they used to have them down at the cabin.
Yeah, we used to have them at the cabin.
Because the Lions Club had hamburgers and hot dogs. And
Yeah.
stuff.
And then there was new management, and they tried to tell us that we would have to pay them $200 to have an event there. We're like, we bring you in more people in that one day than the other day. Us to pay you, so. We just, at that point, we started having it on the street.
Have a motion to approve John's request.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, work with Dwayne and coordinate everything, and good luck.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And hope it's a nice weather day.
Yeah.
Livingstone's recovery program, they want to start a program here in Geneva. Mike Relay.
So, my mission is basically to create a loosely structured support group and fellowship for people in the Geneva community and surrounding areas who suffer from drug addiction, alcoholism, victims of abuse, mental illness, social disorders, trauma, depression, and PTSD, to find freedom from their mental prisons and strongholds. Also for people in recovery and those who desire a relationship with Jesus. Somewhere for them to vent, ask for help, socialize, find resources, share in life experiences and testimonies, and seek God together without prejudice or discrimination. Our program outline basically just want to meet up one night a week for an hour and just allow people to have coffee or refreshments if that's available. Ask everybody how they're doing, if they want to share anything, if they had any struggles, been triggered, tempted to use, had a relapse. What was the outcome? Did they feel they handled the situation properly? What can they do next time to ensure positive results? Then share in victories, announce sobriety and freedom timeline. One night a week, or one person per week give their testimony, or just have the opportunity to share. And then I'd like to read from scripture or listen to an online sermon excerpts and then emphasize and expand on the Word of God. I'd like to provide a weekly recovery lesson and then have prayer requests in closing prayer. Also, I'd like to have a support system, optional to give their number to be added to a list, be passed out to others so that we can have kind of like a peer support group. We don't have a location yet. We're still working on that. I've talked to Rob Breach. Tina put me in contact with him about the church conference building, but I'm also just basically reaching out and seeing if maybe somebody would want to donate a location to be able to use that. It'll be facilitated by myself and my wife, Adrienne Deegan. I made an outline to print off, but I had some technological difficulties. Apparently my the word licensing wasn't paid for, so I couldn't print it off. But I will email this to Tina if it's approved.
Okay.
We have the support of Randy Davis and Michael Bear from Brianna's Hope, and also Rob Parker and Caleb Hollett from Project Connect that goes into the jail. Just to give you a little backstory about myself, I am a recovering addict. I have struggled with that my whole life, and I just like to give back the freedom to the community because I know that Geneva doesn't have a support system like that. We also, Adrian her father used to work for Harris Materials, and the son of the man that owns that said that he would donate $500 to the cause if we get it approved as well. I'd like to meet on Friday evenings between 7 and 8 p.m. once we find a location. And that's all I have.
Have you talked to the church next door here?
I have not, but I will definitely.
That might be another resource for you.
Yeah.
What do you need from the town other than your blessings to do this?
That's about it.
I think we can do that by consensus.
Consensus, yeah, nothing needs to be done formally.
Yeah. Got my blessings.
Okay.
Are you doing this anywhere else? Is this a first project for you? Or?
This is the first time, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you participated in some of the other programs?
Yeah, I do go to Brianna's Hope every week, and I was in the jail in Adams County, and I got baptized in there. I don't know if you guys seen that on the, but I actually went back in as a civilian and got baptized with the other inmates. And I'm really close with the Project Connect guys. They go in there. It's a really great thing, and I just want to continue that outreach. Just continue that support system.
Sure. If you struggle finding a space to have this, go ahead and make sure you get back in touch with us.
Definitely.
Definitely have my blessings. Yeah.
Any other questions, comments?
Good luck.
Best success.
Thank you.
Thank you. Heavy Trash Day. We have two proposed dates. One on October 4th and one on October 11th. They're both Saturdays. We had a big success on that last spring. Geneva Youth Council was instrumental in helping with the success. All the other volunteers that we had, the town employees, counting on effort, it showed. And we've been asked to have another one. Either one of them 2 days. I think we'd like to form a committee like we had last spring. I believe that was Agnes and Andrew that spearheaded that last. You do that again for this fall?
Glad to.
Okay.
And which date do we want?
Flip a coin. Makes me no difference. I'm open on both of them.
I actually checked with the utility guys, if Trent's still in here, to ask, I mentioned those 2 dates to them, and I don't think, Trent, you guys didn't have an issue with either date, I don't remember.
I think all the guys said they could be here in front. I will probably be gone on both of those days. So, but the rest of the guys said that they could be here.
And we have the night.
We're going to do like we did last at the spring, have the four big dumpsters like we had, and compost it down or crush it down like we did, so we can. We filled four dumpsters. We had them full.
Did we do 8 to noon last time?
I believe the hours were. Yeah, I believe they were 8 to noon. We'll need to coordinate with Scott Hershey again.
It's the driveway.
Flip the coin and choose the date. We'll make the announcement tonight.
Don't have a coin on, but I'd bring my wallet.
Go the 4th. It's easier.
4th?
Earlier. Maybe it can move the weather be better. Who knows?
Okay.
Make a motion to go for the 4th.
We have a motion to go with October 4th for our heavy trash day. Second, Andrew. Any other discussion? If not, now we're not going to have a council meeting between now and then, so keep us informed. And
Can we ask our deputy clerk to put it on our, will we get another
Yes.
water bill
Yes.
before then?
Well, no, we won't, actually. The water bills just went out today, so we won't.
That's going to be difficult then,
I'll contact WCBD, I'll put it in the paper, social media.
because that
Get it
always
out.
makes a big difference is when it's on their water bill.
it'll be the same rules as last time, no restrictions, as long as you're a resident of the town of Geneva.
And we're still good if they put them out like the day before the town guys
You
go
know,
around and get 'em.
I think we'll contact like we did, and make
It went
arrangements
rather smoothly last time.
for curbside pickup for those that cannot for some reason, don't have a truck or whatever to haul the equipment. Okay, October the 4th. Oh, we haven't voted on it. All in favor of October the 4th, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? All right.
Maybe next time.
We received a citizens requesting a stop sign at the intersection of Bradford Street and High Street because of speeders. I think what I'm going to do on that is I'm just going to have, where Dwayne go, I'll get with Dwayne and have him do some investigation and come back with us at the next meeting for recommendations. That's all right with council?
Yeah.
All right, old businesses. Waste services bid decision. It's quite comprehensive. We've had a chance, we introduced it last month. Waste Republic is here tonight to answer any questions we may have or to offer any additional insight. Introduce yourself, please. Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Todd Wilson. I'm the operations manager for Public Services.
Do we have any questions from council? We all had a chance to read through it, and I think one of the things that I like about it is we got a real good chance of keeping our 2026 trash rate flat and fund our dumpsters for town cleanups and other stuff. And I want to commend Republic for coming in with that for us. If we don't have any questions or there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion to accept
Make a motion that we accept
their bid.
bid as it wrote.
I'll second.
And we have a motion and a second to accept. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of accepting Republic's bid, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All righty, that passes too. Thank you very much. Look forward to working with you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
One of the items on the agenda for old business, we've talked it around a number of different times, to start the discussion to replace 511. We've listened to a lot of different pros and cons about it. What I would like to do, I would like to find 2 council people, Mark Schock, the chief, and the clerk, to form a committee to come up with a formal presentation to council so we can decide which direction we're going to go with this. Who would like to be on that committee? I'll ask for volunteers first.
I would volunteer. All right.
Any others?
Harlan's not here.
Yeah.
Probably good.
Dan?
Yeah, work with them.
Was that Stan? Is
Yeah.
that right? Okay.
We need a motion to pursue that or just make the appointments and go? Okay. All right, give us something next month and some positive considerations. There's a lot of things involved in this, I know. Age being one of them, ISO ratings. It's not just something that's going to happen overnight. So, good luck, guys and girls. Okay, 2026 fire contracts. Tina, you got something on that for us?
We received a letter from one of the townships that has countered our offer for the 2026 contract. They're only wanting to raise by the gross portion for 2026, which is 4%. Our contract was for not quite $3,000 increase over 2025, which at the end of the day equates to about $1.50 per house in the township that they would be increasing if they sign what we're asking for. When you break it down by person, it's even less than that, like 45 cents. I know that the townships might be a little hesitant because it is a little bit more of an increase than it has been in the past. I think maybe a public meeting presentation with the fire department, myself, with council available, with the board members for each township, because although this is the first official letter we've gotten, I've heard the other townships are kind of going the same way, because I don't necessarily think some of the trustees may have explained it clearly on why we're wanting the increase this year. Has a lot to do with the cost of just running the fire department. The fire department does a great job on fundraising, and they save the town and the townships money by doing that. But with the NFPA standards, the equipment has to be, depending on what the equipment is, it has to be replaced within 10, 15, 20 years. The actual gear that they wear has to be replaced every 10 years. I did an entire presentation for all of the township trustees explaining why we are increasing it the way we are. Costs go up everywhere. The fire department is no different. And additionally, the ISO rating. Tony, I'm going to put you on the spot. Would you like to explain the ISO rating quickly?
So basically, it sets your insurance rates for your community. So it'll look at your dispatch center, your fire department, your water supply, things like that. Just a bunch of criteria that goes into that. I am proud to say Geneva is actually awarded the best volunteer departments. We have the same rating as the city here. The scale of this, so it breaks down to like 4.00 to 4.99. If you fall anywhere in between that, then you're a 4. So I mean, we're close to becoming a 5. So if we don't keep up on things, we would drop to a 5, and then the possible insurance rates going up. So as long as we can stay where we're at.
Talking about insurance rates to individual homeowners.
Homeowners and commercial.
Does response time have anything to do with the ISO rating?
Response time, personnel, equipment, what you have on each truck, how much water you can arrive with, your hydrants, your training, inspection programs that we have it. There is just a whole lot of information that goes into audits. And we are due over the next year for new audits.
Additionally, for a volunteer fire department, their response time, I come from a different area where the volunteer response time was nothing like it is here. All of the volunteer departments in this county have a really good response time as well. But one of the things that we can offer that I also pointed out to the townships, even though it's fire protection, we still have first responder calls. A code blue, a trouble breathing, some chest pains. In Adams County, Geneva was the first fire department that had first responders. So in Adams County, we have 3 ambulances. One stays in Bern, 2 stay at the hospital. And if the one in Bern is out and one in the hospital's out, that third one stages in Monroe. So there is a little bit of time involved to get all the way down to Geneva. So having our fire department respond with first responders that can give that immediate care, you can't put a price tag on that, honestly. And I tried to explain that during my presentation, and I was hoping they would understand that, plus the response time on their fires, and they do a great job. So maybe speaking with the board members might be our next step, maybe.
I have a question. I believe you shared with us that you checked to see that the growth quotient really has nothing to do with having to set what your contracts are.
Correct.
Because, 4%, the cost of insurance goes up by more than 4%.
Correct. I actually spoke to the State Board of Accounts as well as the town attorney and asked if there were any sort of guidelines, stipulations that I couldn't raise it more than a certain amount or percentage, and there's not. So, and this is just what we've talked about is going to be a one-time increase to the townships to kind of get them where they need to be. 2024, 46% of our runs were in the townships.
So you looked at the numbers of what it costs to run the department and then the percentage that you just mentioned.
Correct.
And we're behind that. We're not to that level. So you're just trying to get the playing
Just trying
field
to even the playing field.
even out. Okay.
And then after that, I mean, I don't know if it's something that, since this is a contract, I hesitate to say an executive session, maybe we need to come up with some options before we would meet with the board members. Something as simple as maybe breaking it down to 10% over the next 2 years. Mr. Baumgartner also had some suggestions, but that's where we're kind of at on the contracts.
You had talked too about possibly having an open house for inviting the township citizens and all the advisors and the trustees again
Yes, sir.
to come visit the fire station.
And we can do our presentation there if Chief Shock and the rest of the fire department is agreeable to that and would participate.
I think that's a good idea. Would we need a motion?
You do for that one, actually.
I'll make that motion that you have with both the boards. I guess there's 2 boards in the townships. And because I heard good things from what you told everybody at township, it just needs to be disseminated out to everybody. And maybe we have a second one that for any resident in the townships. We get the elevator fixed like it's supposed to be.
I've got an update on that.
We could have it here too. So maybe have a small one with
The board
boards
members.
in our building, then if it's something, have it down at the.
One thing
Give them a
you-
chance to look at everything, look at the equipment.
One thing you didn't mention was on the truck, we also have the rescue equipment. That it can go anywhere, so we don't have to depend on Monroe or somebody else coming down to, like they used to for Rescue 1 would come to all over the county. We have that equipment now here on site.
Participating in Fire Ops 101, we actually, President Burry and I actually got to use those. So jaws of life, I think, has a different phrase, but essentially the jaws of life. So our department is very well equipped.
We got the sonar equipment that nobody else has.
That as well.
We had more boats for a while. I don't know if that's still the case.
And if anybody's been anywhere in the last 5 years, we know that the rate of inflation is definitely not 3% or 4%. It's more closer to 20+%, and especially in equipment. If you don't believe that, just look at what it costs. I know I did some research on tractors, just John Deere tractors, and one particular model has almost doubled in price over the last 10 years. So those are things that we hope people see, realize, and they encourage that we get this. And again, it's a one-time thing. So Andrew made a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Time cancel. Andrew?
Time capsule. Okay. For the, pass those out to the crowd.
Oh, okay.
Because I sent it around, time capsule, which we buried 3 years ago. It doesn't have a plaque on it. The original one has a plaque. And so, this is to put a plaque on it. There's, I don't know what we're gonna do with the old one. Put the old one on beside it.
Do we still have the old one?
I would think we did. But we got prices, and it was running about $1,400 to have this thing. I've been dealing with a company for years that makes these things for me, and I get the price of $677. And they're really high quality, they come out of Tampa, Florida, so I think it's something the town ought to do is, and we're open to revisions. I just have to send them a check, and it'll show up here in about 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, I certainly like the idea. If it's a reputable company and they do quality work.
I've dealt with them for probably 20 years.
Saving the town the dollars makes a lot of sense to me. I would make a motion to go with this company that Andrew's suggesting.
A motion from Agnes to go with that. Second?
Second.
And any other discussion? If not, all in favor of purchasing the plaque as presented in Andrew's presentation, or say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, next on the agenda is our workforce management job description, manager job description and advertisement. We made an assignment to write up and make suggestions to council of what we want to see in this position. In your packet, there was some job description, and it goes through and suggested changes or additions were in red to what is existing now in our handbook. Looks pretty thorough.
As far as the committee that you put on this, some of the things we talked about is changing some of the wording where it said required to desired, because we realized not all of those items in our job description had to be required. Desired was important, and if they get the qualifications as they're on the job, that'd be great. So that was kind of the biggest part I think we found, right?
And this would apply whether it's full-time or part-time? Same standard?
So,
I like the addition. Thorough.
I think the first thing we need to do is make a motion to approve the revisions to our employee handbook for the job description. I'll have such a motion.
You make a motion to accept it.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Miss. Any other comments or questions? If not, all in favor of accepting the revisions to our handbook specifications, say, by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Now, do we want to advertise at this time?
I think
Did
we
include the
can.
advertisement.
I don't know, I mean, since we approved it, it's just a matter of getting it in the handbook. That's just a step, right?
Right. We had to know what we were going to be asking for.
Right. My thought is we go ahead and advertise, because we don't know how long it'll take to get response. I know we always put an end date as to when to respond by.
2 weeks.
I think it's a 2-week minimum.
Yeah,
For
to have it
public
out there
job
as
like
an
that. I believe
advertisement.
it's 2 weeks that it needs to be posted.
And close the applications when?
Depending how we're going to advertise it, what do you think? If we get it out there enough, do we need, is 2 weeks long enough, or would we need 3? I don't know where it's going to be advertised.
Well, I would be advertising it in a Burn Witness. I can't advertise it in the Decatur paper, website, Facebook page, post it in the window. I'm not sure where else.
So do you think with all of that, 2 weeks is plenty of time? It's just a question, I don't know.
I think so. I mean, it's one of those things where if somebody hears of somebody has a job that's open or whatever, I'm sure the news will travel if it needs to.
Okay.
But
We've had like 1 or 2 people kind of reach out with a little bit of interest, so.
Sounds fine to me.
And this is going to be for part-time or full-time?
It says part-time. Yeah.
this right here is part-time. I'll make a motion that we advertise this for 2 weeks. See if we can get.
We have a motion to advertise for 2 weeks, with the deadline of being what specific date?
Time it goes.
When do you
in.
think you get it in?
I could probably get in.
Friday.
Jess, is there a better day than not that we should advertise something like that? Maybe she's listening. Is there a better day to advertise in the Burn Witness on something like this, or does I could probably get it in on Friday at the earliest.
That'd be the 12th.
And 14 days would take us to the 26th.
Why don't we put it to the 30th?
Okay.
That's fine.
I'm just wondering if we wouldn't want to do something. I get this magazine. My brother used to be has all this stuff. It's like TPO and just getting into the trades. There, you're like, I know there's Indeed, but is there something for cities and towns? That's something that AIM or one of those people would.
I can post it on the AIM.
Because there's like I'm on LinkedIn, so LinkedIn I get all these looking for a job, and then there's Indeed. If we cast a broad net, we're likely to.
Okay.
And I'll get you I'll look at that TPO. He just got one of the magazines.
The treatment plan number?
I don't
Get
know.
those in the mail all the time for John still. I said throw them away because I've been
Second,
getting
yeah.
them done.
Chris gets them, he reads them.
Did we have an actual
He kept all his
deadline?
license
I
back.
think it's
so-
treatment plan.
September 30th.
John always got those. It was
I don't know if we
there.
had a second. Did we have a second?
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
No.
We haven't had a second on it, we just had a proposal for the September
We have,
30th.
Stan made a motion to advertise.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Elevator update. I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is we have a mechanically, electrically functioning elevator. The bad news is because of the age of the elevator, it had an analog phone system in it for the emergency phone system. That has to be, because we have internet phones in the building here, we will have to get some equipment to update that to internet phone. Talking to the technician today, they will send us the requirements. They have some recommendations for who installs this. Without this emergency phone, we cannot get the elevator certified. So I'm waiting now for them. I put a call into Zach today just to let him know. You'll probably contact him too, Tina.
Okay.
But that's where we're at on the elevator. But at least we have our mechanical and electrical issues resolved.
You put a cell phone in there?
Well, I don't know what the requirements are. I have to do some,
Have to get a signal.
yeah.
Did we skip a line?
Replace a part-time employee, staff.
Yeah, we did. Replacing part-time employee, we'll go back to that one. Stan?
Okay, so I talked to Trent and I talked to Sean a little bit, and once Cassidy left us, they kind of led me to believe that Cassidy was working approximately 30 hours a week. They seemed to like the amount of work that he was doing, but with leaving a 30-hour gap with 3 guys to do the work, it seems like a pretty uphill battle to me. So we had talked a little bit about having Don step up a little bit more seasonal, or we also talked about the fact that it's putting someone in on a part-time level, a lot like Cassidy. So in order to go ahead and pick it up, I think that time is a little bit of the essence. We got leaves coming up. That's going to be a big chunk of what we do in the fall. And so I thought it was something we need to think about as far as going ahead and advertising for maybe a part-time seasonal employee. And when I talked to Trent, we were talking a little bit like work through fall and then more in the spring and summertime and not so much in the winter. So it's just something to consider whether or not we wanted to go ahead and advertise for somebody to replace Cassidy on whatever level we wanted him to replace that.
Last year, when we advertised for the part-time position we had, we made it contingent on when we needed it. It could be just through the end of the year. When we interviewed, we mentioned that in the interview. Now, we kept it. We found out we needed it more than just that. So we could maybe keep it open-minded like that from what you just explained, if they feel they need more sometime of the year than other time. The other thing you mentioned, leaf pickup, but we'll have the hydrants coming in too. So there would definitely be a need.
leaf pickup just takes more people than you think. You know, and if you're talking about, even if Don gets involved, you're talking about a big share of the crew about picking up leaves. You know, something else to think to consider is the fact is that advertising for an employee of this range right here, trying to get somebody that wants to come in that has maybe a question mark on when they're going to be working or how much they're going to be working is a detriment to, I think, getting someone in the job that's going to do a good job for us. You know, I talked to Trent a little bit about when Cassidy was struggling a little bit, having some more of a fixed day type schedule in order so that that's something that he could count on and we could also count on. I think that there was a little bit of a fall down whether he was going to come to work or going to be needed this week or not. Is that true, Trent? Sometimes, yeah. That's what we talked a little bit about. So it's a situation where I'm thinking that, you know, that maybe if we run, you know, 4 days a week through the whole summer, fall time or whatever, and then drop down to a couple days a week, you know, like through the winter time or the colder time. And it's all subject to whether or not we need it or not. But the thing is that I think that if I was looking at a job like that, I would want to know a little bit more security on what I could count on. Right. You know.
So you guarantee a minimum amount of hours.
Yeah, I mean, we could also set it that way. I think that, I know that at one point in time when Cassidy, we kind of talked a little bit about having him come in like Monday through Thursday and then off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every week. There wasn't any question mark about whether or not we're going to need him on Tuesday or not. And so, and I think that would kind of set up some parameters that we could feel like the part-time guy knew that, hey, I go to work Monday through Thursday, you know.
As long as we don't get over the 30 hours and the 15, because
You know,
that'd be
and that's the
32.
thing, because I don't think we will, because we'd have winter time where everything is much slower.
Right.
But I also know that if we need them, we need them. And even if it's raining today and we can't work outside, I think that it's important to understand that we'll work at the town barn that we could be doing, you know. So I don't think that that's justification for not necessarily having the guy come to work. And, you know, the only other thing that I wanted to add to this was, I think it would be an error for us to put it off until October. Because once we go ahead and list it and try to get employees in here, like we're getting into the fall and we're going to need them yet this fall, whether it's for leaves, whether it's for fire hydrants or whatever it is. You know, if we put it out to the fall to make a decision on whether we wanted to put it out in the paper, then all of a sudden, now we're getting it in the middle of October. We're going to keep it open for a couple of weeks. Now we're talking in 1st of November. And then all of a sudden, then I think that the season's going to be winding down.
Well, if we coincide with the same kind of time frame for the other position, then the interviews can all happen at the same time too.
If it's important.
Yeah, put it in the same thing, because one thing, if we have a heavy trash day, Trent's on vacation, we have one person in town. Can't drive and load at the same time, so we'll need help on the truck.
So I guess what I'd like to say is I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and put something together, get it in the paper, maybe in the same time frame as we're doing it for the manager's position. And then see what we get at, see what we come up with. We can make a decision at that point in time. You know.
We can hold an executive session with our normal 3-day notice and then have a hiring session that same day even if we wanted, depending on how we advertise it. So we have a motion to advertise for a part-time employee. Have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
All opposed, same sign. All right. We'll let Stan, you want to get all that with Tina and get it all coordinated?
Yep, sure will.
Okay, reports for the clerk treasurer.
Sally and I did our first Trex submission this week. It passed, so it was done correctly. So hopefully when tax time rolls around next year, we'll get some of the money that we've put in for in Trex. These were all for outstanding utility bills. We actually submitted $3,102.29 into Trex. Part of that was Roman Troyer that we few months ago on the taps. They said to go ahead and give it a try. They weren't sure if they could, but to at least submit him and we could go from there. The Amazon account that we spoke about the last public meeting at the end of August, I checked with the State Board of Accounts, and as long as our department heads are following the purchasing policy, which I did send out to all of you, there's not an issue if they're on the Amazon account. So, and as long as they follow the purchasing policy, I don't have an issue with it either. That was just something you wanted on the September agenda, so I wanted to make sure we addressed that. I know it all went out in email, but just in the public meeting, there's no issue. So one of the council members, I can't remember who, was looking at the sewage depreciation cash balance on the papers, or on the paperwork that I send you at the end of the month. And I think we saw where, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it is the depreciation currently doesn't have any money going into it. So we have the bonded interest, which is probably going to take about 50%, which leaves the other 50% that's currently going into the cash-in balance. So we don't get too low on depreciation. I want to flip that to 25%, 25%. And I need you all to be okay with that, I guess. I'm not sure if that requires a vote. But Bill said I needed to bring it to council since this is a new one for me. Because I'm just changing the percentage so the depreciation account doesn't go empty.
Put that to a vote. Put to a motion. Okay, we have a motion to change the sewage depreciation cash balance to Tina's recommendations
25%?
at 25%.
Bonded interest also?
Bond and interest is automatically, I think, at 50%, so it's cash in and depreciation, which 25%.
Gotcha.
I have a motion for that effect.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any other questions or discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Yes.
Okay.
Any other updates?
Veterans banner update. I have a demo banner in the lobby. Gentleman, I believe that's on the banner, happens to be sitting in the audience this evening. But there's a demo banner in the lobby that folks can see. I've gotten a grant. I've actually gotten a couple of nice sized donations, so I'm going to open up the application process starting in October for the whole month of October. When applications are turned in, the applicant needs to pay $50 towards their banner, and that'll be the banners and the brackets. There will be a little bit of some stipulations as far as I've had several people come in and they have multiple family members. So if they have 4 and 5 family members, prefer it to be, unless there's an exception, 1 family member, 1 to 2 family members, depending, since I only have the 25 polls, and then have the waiting list for that. And then I just need to make sure I need the time to verify that they meet the criteria. If they don't meet the criteria, they'll get their money back. But that's where I'm at. So hopefully this can all be done and have all the funds so we can get this going in May. So that's the only update I have on that. So we're ready for the bank recon and APDs.
Approval of the bank recons, August 2025 bank recon.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approval of the August 2025 accounts payable vouchers.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? If not, all in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Town attorney comments and updates.
Yeah, I have a quick update and was seeking some clarification on something. At last month's meeting, I was tasked with looking into whether the town can require a prepayment or a deposit of the tax connection fees, as well as whether a $100 fee can be charged for non-emergency disconnection and reconnection of water service after business hours. I looked through the Indiana code and I found that that can be done, but doing so will require us amending the existing water utility ordinance, which means going through that long process of having, posting a certain notice in certain time, publishing the ordinance for 2 weeks, at least 10 days before a public hearing, and then having a public hearing. So it involves that kind of process in order to get this to work. And in the meantime, Tina has reached out to the State Board of Accounts regarding the Neptune wireless water reading system that will detect any kind of leaks. I know that was kind of tabled at the prior meeting. The State Board of Accounts indicated that we can add a fee to offset any costs that would involve with the Neptune program. So if that's going to be revisited, I believe it's going to be added to the agenda for next month. Doing that would also require that same hearing process. So it makes sense to hold off on that until that's determined whether the council wants to proceed with that Neptune program. So then we can just combine it all into one amendment to the ordinance. But there was also a few clarifications I was seeking as to those two things, those two amendments. One being as to the prepayment or deposit of tap connection fees. Looking at our water utility ordinance, depending on the size of the tap, determines the connection charge and what is actually charged for that. So anything larger than a 1-inch tap, is my understanding, it's the actual cost of labor, material, and equipment, which can't really be determined beforehand. But it says no less than $525. So the question there is this a $525 deposit? And then they're billed for the surplus after the fact? And then also, regardless of the tap size, this also needs to include the boring costs. So my question is, does the boring cost change from case to case? Or is that generally about the same figure? Or is that all circumstantial? Yeah, the cost for boring. That says the town shall be reimbursed for all boring costs regardless of the size of the tap.
We don't bore them, do we? We dig them.
Yeah, we dig.
Okay, so is that something that's not really used? Okay. So my question there is, are we just doing a $525 deposit regardless of tap size and any surplus there then billed after the fact? Is that what we're seeking with this amendment?
Sounds reasonable, huh?
I think that sounds reasonable.
Okay. And then for the other amendment, better defining what a non-emergency is for disconnection and reconnection of water service. So I'll turn to Trent for that one. What exactly is a non-emergency compared to an emergency disconnection or reconnection?
Well, it's like someone that wants to just change out their water heater.
Mm-hmm.
They call us in to shut their water off so they can change out their water heater, and then next night they call back and say they want to turn it on again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not an emergency.
Like inactive leak situation?
Yeah.
We're defining that as an emergency and just about anything else as a non-emergency. Okay.
That's an active leak of some sort.
Okay.
So an active leak being an emergency and most everything else not necessarily.
Is there anything you can think of that is not an active leak situation that would be an emergency? Like an imminent active leak situation? I just want to make sure that's defined properly.
I don't know, I would think that almost, just everybody gets a free turn off once a year or something like that. They do need more than one, then we do have a charge on it. Because to me, it's sort of a, they're just, they pay their water bill and.
We're talking like after hours.
Right. This is
Well, I mean, that was
my next question. What are business hours defined as?
7 to 3:30.
7 to 3:30 weekdays?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. That's really all I had. But yeah, until the council further decides whether or not to pursue that Neptune program with adding an additional fee on the water bill, which we now know we can do legally, I would advise just holding off and pursuing all this at that time. So that was my update.
So if somebody calls in that wants the water shut off on a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever it is, off hours, can we just say no?
No, we're going to do it, they're going to pay for it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
My understanding, it would be written in a way where you advise the person that's calling, we'll get to it the next business day. Otherwise, if you want us to do it this weekend, there's this $100 fee that we'd be charging. So either or.
Well, like my house where the water comes in, I've got a shut off.
Yeah, me too.
So I think that's very prudent, but I figure
Agreed.
everybody ought to have a shut off.
That's
That'd be
what
nice.
Trent has said.
Wouldn't that be nice? I don't think I have one.
You don't?
A shut off on the city water? Do we have that in our houses?
Yeah. Most, everybody, whenever we shut their water off, we always suggest to them to make sure they're.
Well, I probably do then, I just don't know where it is.
I mean, it's a good thing to locate because you never know when
All right,
you're,
somebody's got to come show me.
I know exactly where mine is in the corner of the basement.
I know where mine is to switch it from cistern water to city water.
It's probably in the
I know how to do all
same
that.
area.
Yeah, probably is, okay.
Okay, council member comments and updates. Just a quick reminder of the Fall Festival on September 27th. It sounds like they've got some pretty good plans going on for that. There's going to be some bands for the course of the day from noon on. Town hall committee updates.
Town
The
hall
repairs
committee.
for the town hall committee.
Okay, last I knew, Fred and Arlen had some numbers or some contractors you talked to.
Arlen talked to, I didn't talk to anybody, Arlen.
Okay, I thought, okay.
He had all the information.
I can't speak for him, or shouldn't. I thought he said you and him worked on it and you had some numbers that you were putting together.
He called me and asked some questions when they were here, but I never met with him. He kind of took the reins and did that one.
All right, because
Okay, well,
I guess we don't, because
We'll wait
Arlen
for
was going
that
to
then.
send it to me, but I do want to ask though, Andrew, you said there was a company that might know a little bit more about actually waterproofing, finding out what's causing it to come in. Is that still something?
It's,
Protect.
Protect.
Okay.
Those were one of the two that came out.
Oh, they were?
Yes, Protect and Water Out.
Okay, and they weren't the ones who told us how to do this part? Oh,
Those were the
I'm talking
two-
about keeping the water from coming in.
Well, they would give you what's happened, they need to do, then you have to have a construction company.
Yes.
They don't,
Okay, but they didn't tell us what to do on the outside of the
That
building.
the outside wall needs sealed. They also recommend probably putting the siding on it and replacing the windows.
Do we have?
I'm not sure if it's actually in the quote, but it was discussion.
Yeah, I was thinking it was just all the stuff inside that was talked about. Okay, Protect. All right, wonderful.
if no other comments or updates, there being no further business to come before the board, our next meeting is October 14th, 2025 at 6:30 PM here in the town hall. We are adjourned.
I found this.